Three beautiful princesses fell in love with the youngest billionaire who had just returned from America. But he faced the difficult choice. Who truly loved him? To find out, he disguised himself as a poor man, and what happened next shocked the entire kingdom. Stay with me till the end, because this story will teach you a powerful lesson about pride, beauty, and true love. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Chibueze, the first son of his family, returned from America as the youngest billionaire in the land. According to tradition, every first son must marry from his hometown. That was the reason for his visit. At the New Yam Festival, the entire kingdom gathered to welcome him. Drummers beat the ogene, or gong, and the udu, or clay drum. Masquerades danced in the village square. Women sang praises with rattles and ululations. The people shouted, "Ezibonwai Olohachila," our true son has returned. At the palace, the king welcomed him with kola nut, the highest symbol of Igbo honor. The king said, "He who brings kola brings life." Chike shared the kola nut, and everyone prayed for peace, wealth, and good harvests. The people danced, the drums beat, and even the king stood to bless him. But little did they know, his coming would test the hearts of the three princesses. The king had three daughters, Adaeze, Chiamaka, and Oluchi. All three were beautiful, each in her own way. When they saw Chibueze, their hearts burned with desire. Adaeze thought, "As the first princess, I deserve him." Chiamaka thought, "He will be mine with his wealth and power." Oluchi thought, "He is kind. I pray he finds happiness, even if not with me." And so, the secret battle for Chibueze's heart began. Beauty may attract a man, but love decides who stays. Chibueze also admired them. They were all beautiful, well-trained, and charming. But soon, each of them began to fight silently for his love. Adaeze was the eldest and carried herself with great pride. She believed she deserved Chibueze because she was the first daughter of the king. She often invited Chibueze to the palace garden to talk about leadership, wealth, and power. She showed off her intelligence, telling him about the history of their kingdom. She said to him once, "Chibueze, you need a wife who can stand beside you in public and represent you with confidence. That wife is me." Chibueze admired her boldness, but he also saw pride in her. Was this true love or the hunger for power? Pride may open doors, but humility keeps them open. Like this video if you believe humility is more powerful than pride. Chiamaka was the most fashionable. She believed beauty and charm were the keys to Chibueze's heart. She wore the best wrappers, expensive beads, and gold jewelry. She danced for him during moonlight plays and whispered romantic words in his ears. She once told him, "Chibueze, I will make you the happiest man. With me, you will never be bored." Chibueze admired her beauty and bold spirit, but he wondered if she cared about his heart or only his wealth. Beauty may catch the eyes, but character catches the heart. Tell me in the comments, can beauty alone keep a marriage strong? Oluchi was gentle and kind. She did not try to outshine her sisters with fashion or pride. Instead, she showed love through service. When Chibueze visited the palace, she cooked for him and personally served him food. She smiled at him warmly and asked about his health, his travels, and his family. One evening, she told him, "Chibueze, whether you choose me or not, I will always pray for your success." Chibueze admired her humility and kindness, but he wondered, is this her true heart, or is she just pretending? Love is seen in actions, not in words. At this point, Chibueze's heart was torn into three. Adaeze was intelligent and confident. Chiamaka was beautiful and exciting. Oluchi was gentle and caring. He liked all three, but he remembered the words of the elders. A good wife is not chosen by beauty alone, but by the character she carries when wealth disappears. Chibueze realized he could not decide by appearance, words, or charm. He needed proof of who truly loved him, not his money, not his fame, but his heart. One night, Chibueze sat with his best friend Obinna under the moonlight. He said, "My friend, if I marry one, the other two will feel betrayed. If I follow my eyes, I will choose wrongly. But if I test their hearts, I will find the one who will stand with me in good times and in bad." That was when Chibueze planned the greatest test of love. He would return to the USA, and when he came back for the next New Yam Festival, he would disguise himself as a poor man who had lost everything. Only then would he know which princess truly loved him. When the heart is confused, wisdom must lead. Like this video if you think Chibueze's plan was wise. Months later, when Chibueze returned, he dressed in torn clothes with dust on his body, went to Edaeze's chamber. She was sitting with her maidens, combing her hair. Chibueze bowed and said, "Edaeze, my princess, I am no longer the billionaire you once knew. My businesses in America have collapsed. I have nothing, but I still want you as my wife. Will you stand by me?" Edaeze looked at him from head to toe. She laughed, covering her mouth with her palm. "You? Chibueze, the so-called billionaire? Look at you now, ragged, hungry, and empty-handed. My father warned me, a princess cannot marry a beggar." Her maidens joined in the laughter. She waved her hand and said, "Leave my sight before people think I am entertaining a poor man in my chamber." Chibueze lowered his head and walked away in silence. His heart was broken, but his test had begun. Pride will always fail the test of love. Comment below. What do you think of Edaeze's choice? The next day, Chibueze went to Chiamaka's side. She was decorating herself with beads, preparing for the evening dance. He approached quietly and said, "Chiamaka, my beloved, my wealth is gone, but my heart is still the same. Will you marry me even if I remain poor forever?" Chiamaka turned, adjusting her necklace, and stared at him sharply. "Chibueze, do you think I am blind? When you returned from America rich, I admired you. But now, you are finished. You cannot feed me, you cannot dress me, you cannot take me to the city. What kind of life is that?" She hissed and added, "Go and look for another woman. I am too beautiful to suffer with a man like you." Then she walked away, leaving Chibueze standing in shame. Chibueze sighed deeply. Now, only one princess remained. Those who love wealth will abandon you when riches fade. Finally, Chibueze went to Oluchi. She was by the riverside, washing some clothes and humming a folk song. He sat down quietly, looking tired. She noticed him and immediately left what she was doing. "Chibueze, you look hungry. Wait here." She ran to her hut, brought food, and set it before him. She even washed his hands with water before he ate. After eating, Chibueze said softly, "Oluchi, I am no longer rich. People say I became poor because of you princesses. They even call you bad luck. Will you still marry me?" Oluchi's eyes filled with tears. She held his hand and replied, "Let people say what they like. I know who you are. Rich or poor, you are still Chibueze. I will never leave you. If you live in a palace, I will follow you. If you sleep under a tree, I will still stay by your side. That is love." Chibueze's eyes also filled with tears. At that moment, he knew
Oluchi's love was genuine. True love is proven in difficult times. Like this video if you believe true love still exists. The day of the next New Yam festival arrived. The entire kingdom gathered at the palace square. The king, the queen, elders, chiefs, and villagers all sat in their places, waiting to celebrate. But everyone whispered, "Where is Chibueze, the great billionaire from America?" Some said, "He is now poor, he cannot show his face again." The three princesses sat together, looking anxious. Suddenly, Chibueze walked into the square wearing the same poor man's clothes. His head was bowed. The people gasped, some mocked him. The king stood up angrily. "Chibueze, you dare enter my palace looking like this? You tricked us once with your wealth, but now you want to deceive us with poverty? Leave this place. None of my daughters will marry a beggar." The crowd roared in agreement. Chibueze raised his hand and spoke in a broken voice. "My king, my people, listen. I lost everything in America. I became poor. Since then, I tested your princesses. I wanted to know who among them would love me for who I am, not for what I have." He turned to Adaeze. "You mocked me." He turned to Chiamaka. "You rejected me." Finally, he faced Oluchi. "But you, Oluchi, you fed me when I was hungry. You stood by me when the world called me a failure. You wiped my tears when no one else cared."
The crowd fell silent. Everyone's eyes turned to Oluchi. Then suddenly, drums sounded, trumpets blew. Obina, Chibueze's best friend, entered with guards carrying boxes of gold, money, and fine clothes. In front of the shocked crowd, Chibueze removed his ragged clothes. Underneath, he wore the royal regalia of a true billionaire prince. The people screamed in shock. Chibueze's voice thundered, "I never lost my wealth. I only hid it to test true love. And now I know the truth. The woman I will marry is Oluchi, the youngest princess, for her heart is pure." The king was speechless. The queen wept tears of joy. The villagers shouted with excitement. Adaeze and Chiamaka bowed their heads in shame. They realized they had lost not just a husband, but also respect in the eyes of the kingdom. That very day, Chibueze placed a ring of gold on Oluchi's finger before the entire community. The drums beat louder. The dancers filled the square. The king finally stood and declared, "Let this be a lesson for all. Wealth can fade, beauty can fade, but true love and kindness remain forever." True love is not about riches, fashion, or pride. A good wife or husband is the one who will stay with you in good times and in bad times. And so, Chibueze discovered the truth. Pride and beauty may fade, but true love never fails. The kingdom celebrated his choice, and Oluchi became not just his wife, but his queen. But here's the question for you. If you were Chibueze, which princess would you have chosen? Share your answer in the comments. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss the next story, because the lessons you'll learn may just change the way you see love and life.